the night of the October Day storm, October 17th or 11th?
It was in October.
October 17th, I think.
Something like that.
October Day storm, Columbus Day storm, but we don't have a Columbus Day anymore, so I don't remember
Yeah.
what day that was. I think it's the 17th, and I was working at the Pixie Kitchen,
What year was that?
and
It was 62.
1962, just before Howard and I were getting married. In February we got married. So I was waiting tables and looked out the window. It was probably 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and this real ominous dark sky was coming in from the coast. So we could see it out at the ocean, and it was coming in, and all of us stopped. The people in the restaurant stopped. We were all looking out there thinking, what is that? And it just looked, all I can say, it was just ominous. You just felt like something horrible was coming. And it hit finally, and it was huge windstorm that was unbelievable, really. It just tore down trees and
Yeah.
and telephone poles, and people were injured, and anything that was metal that was on a roof. Some roofs, like Howard was in Portland, and the roof at the Oregonian building, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The sheets of metal were flying through the air like this, which would cut your head off if it hit you. And he was hanging on to some woman around a telephone pole, trying to keep her from flying down the street. And we, so Dad just kind of sequestered everybody and said, just stay put, you know, we're going to stay inside. And we had a huge antenna on the roof for television, and it was our restaurant was at the bottom of a dip where the log trucks shifted gear and kept me awake all the time. And so we had to have a big antenna. The building was a 3-story building, so on top of that was a huge antenna, and he was worried about that ripping the whole roof off, so we had to all stay down on the main floor. And we had food and lots of ice cream, which was going to melt, so we'd eat that, and so we just stayed and played cards and took all the chairs out of the bar, and ended up in the shell room, it was called, and the carpet having 5 pads under it. We everybody slept on the carpet that needed to sleep, or they sat in one of the big lounge recliner chairs and slept. We played cards most of the night, and had clam dip and wheat thins and whatever we could find, carrots and celery, and whatever was available to eat. We tried to keep the freezers and everything closed, of course. And then the next morning, it was just a mess. The roads were like spaghetti out there. I went and rescued my cousin and her 2 kids. Their house had a telephone pole landed on it, and all the lines were all around the house, and she was afraid she'd get electrocuted. So I went with the car and went down there, and we managed to get the kids out the window and get them in a car with 4 rubber tires, so we wouldn't get electrocuted, and got her back to the Pixie where it was safer. And well, we had a fun night, but in the morning, a lot of tourists in town had no place to go to eat. Nothing was open, and so Dad sent me out for sweet rolls and donuts and all the instant coffee I could find. And we had a gas stove, so we made big pots of hot water and dumped all the instant coffee in to serve coffee, and gave away free donuts and coffee to the tourists as they were trying to get out of town or trying to get home. And the night before, and that night was also a dinner for Surf Tights had a big, I think it was 500 people in town for a big convention, and so they had all electric stoves. So we had big gas ovens, and we cooked their roast and did what we could, to help serve the people, so they were able to at least feed them. And so it was everybody helped themselves. The donuts and the coffee were free, and I told my dad, I said, gee, we could make a lot of money. We should be charging for this. And he really got upset with me and told me, have I not taught you anything? When people are in trouble, you don't charge them for something. You help them and you give them whatever you have. So I learned a lesson on that one, and I've tried to be that way all my life. So he was a good role model for that.